Consider supporting DanDanTheFireman on Patreon for just $1 a month. More information and link below.
What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. I'm stuck in traffic. It's freaking hot. And I want to talk to you about the 3 different types of sport bikes. There are a little bit more, you know, if you combine here and there, you could talk about naked sport bikes and all that stuff. But I'm going to talk about the 3 basic types of sport bikes. And if you like this kind of stuff, please click that subscribe button. Right next to it is the notification bell button. It really helps out the channel. I'd love to have you guys as part of the DDFM crew. And I would love to see if we can hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. So first of all, sport bikes, they are mostly built for performance first and comfort second. You get a really aggressive riding style. You're moving, you're leaned forward, you have rear controls, and it's really meant for speed and performance. They usually have a lot more modern race technology because that's what they race with. MotoGP and everything, that's what they race with. And actually they do a lot of experimentation, beta testing on the track, and a lot of that stuff does translate to the street with sport bikes. Some come with plastic fairings, and that usually that's designed to cut the wind resistance while you're riding. Now when I say some, I'm talking about like the naked bikes that are sport bikes. But that's why they're called naked, because they don't have the fairings. And they do come in 3 main categories. You have the sport, super sport, and touring bikes. All right, guys. So this is the standard sport bike. This is the one that you usually see riding around town for the most part. Now these have more of an upright stance compared to super sports. Super sports are really like crouched in. The standard sport bike is a little bit more upright. Like I said, it's a little bit for more comfort, more around in town. It's detuned. It usually has like a lesser powerful engine than a super sport or an actual race bike. Maybe, and it's really meant for like in-town stuff, because when you have a super sport and you have a race bike, you have a bike that does a lot of power after like 90 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. In town, you're not going to hit that. So a lot of the regular sport bikes, they have, it's detuned so that you have more of the power at the lower end. Now the super sport, they're meant for racing, okay? So the BMW 1000 RR, the double R, it means race ready. So it's meant for racing, okay? I don't know why you can get them, you know, on the street. I don't know why you could just grab them. It's basically race bikes with turn signals and headlights. They're really meant for the track. They're really meant to go really fast, and I don't see how they're really any good for on the street, but a lot of people love them. They have a lot of power. They're very powerful, and they can get you from A to B super quick if you want to break some laws. So they are meant for racing. They're not as comfy as the standard bike because they have more of a tuck, and you're gonna be like really tucked in, and they're very fast. They're very dangerous. I did a video that a lot of people actually don't like because I talk about how super sports will kill you. And if you want to check that out, go ahead and click the card in the upper right and the link in the description. Basically, when people decide to get super sports, or really sport bikes in general, but when they lean to the super sport area, they are not as experienced as they should be, and then they crash. And it's very fatal and very dangerous. So super sports are meant for racing on the track. So if you actually want to start going track racing and all that stuff, go ahead and get a super sport if you want. But you can definitely get away with a 300 or 600. Super sports are usually like 1,000 plus, and you can even get a super sport that's a 600 plus. So like the RR, like I said, is race ready. The next you have the sport touring bikes. Now this is kind of like, one second. Whew. I am sweating. These are kind of like the cruiser bikes that have a lot of bags on them. Like it's the cruiser version of a touring bike, but it's a sport touring bike. So you have that sport bike type feel to it, but you have saddlebags, you have probably GPS heated grips, you have a nice fairing, so you got a lot of wind break, wind resist, it breaks through the wind and all that stuff. You do have a lot more when it comes to going across the country, but you also have a lot more power when it comes to having a sport bike. So if that's something you want to do, if you want to go on longer distance rides, like really longer distance, that's what these ones are meant for. They're meant for longer distance. They're more upright, more comfy, because on those longer distance rides, you don't want to be grinding your crotch into your seat very long. And like I said, it usually has saddlebags or places to mount your bags. Very important when you want to go long distance. I just got saddlebags for my bike, and when I want to go camping, they're really good. But they are a little bit different. They're not really meant to go super duper fast. like super sports. They're not meant for really in-town stuff. You can still get away with it in town. They're meant for the longer distance. So you have like 3 categories when it comes to stuff. So if you want to get a bike for in-town stuff, go with just a regular sport bike. You don't need a super sport. If you want to take a bike to the track and you have the money for it, get a super sport if you want, and you have the experience, get one of those. If you want to go longer distance, you want to get a sport touring bike. Those will get you where you need to go. Now, there's a bunch of different types of bikes out there. There's a dual sport adventure. There's cruiser bikes, standard bikes. There's supermoto bikes. There's so many different kinds of bikes out there, and this is just the sport bike, so this is gonna be a little quicker video. But if you like this stuff and you want me to do like a series on different types of bikes out there, please write in the comments. This could turn into a series where I talk about the different types of cruiser bikes, the different types of standard bikes, the different types of dual sport bikes, naked bikes, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to see that, write in the comments and let me know, and we'll have a discussion about that, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not in the comments. But with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and I want you guys to subscribe because that definitely helps me out, and I'll definitely see you guys later. All right.